This video is brought to you by the FARMER-KLEIN YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Wośnice. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. But before that, this video is brought to you by Raznak. Thank you for being a farm baron. So let's read a little bit of the description. It says, welcome to the fictional map of Volchnitza. I wish you many hours on this map. This map is adapted for precision farming and the seasons mod, and I can confirm this map does indeed have a custom seasons mask and soil map. The map has one proprietary farm, 112 fields, animal dealer, 3 selling stations, traffic, working gates, new textures for crops and trees, machine shop, sawmill, lime station, gas station, transport missions, ice on the road, lakes, and snowman during the winter. That's pretty cool. The dairy added in game painting textures. So we're going to have to take a look at that. And a big forest. So let's just go ahead and load on in and take a look at this map. This map does not list anything specific as far as required mods. Just quickly get these picked in. Pull up the log. Watching the map load up, lickety split. I will say, if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you're going to find that everything is exactly how it is here on New Farmer mode, with the exception of the land that you own at the start. So in New Farmer mode, you obviously start by owning some land, whereas in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you own no land at the start, but all of the farms you see here, all the buildings, the equipment, they're all here regardless of play mode. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. This is a smaller map. So if we zoom on out, we're going to see the base map area here in green, and then we'll zoom on into the actual play area of the map. We have all of our standard crops available to us here on Farm Sim 17 or 19, sorry. And then we have our main farm here, which includes our farmhouse with a small horse pasture. We include field 79, 35, and 98 with New Farmer mode. Now, the land here is pretty cheap, but they are small fields. So we like field 112, which is $74,000. Field 49, which is $86,000. And those are kind of the bigger fields on the map. Field 93, $69,000. Then we move on to things like field 20 and 21. $23,000. Field 43, $18,000. Area 66, $12,000. You kind of get the gist. Now, this map does not include a biogas plant. So if you like to play with biogas plants, you might be placing your own down. Let's go ahead and take a look at our custom soil map. So you can see here we have a fair bit of silty clay to the northeast of the map. The kind of the west, center west, and the southeast of the map is loam. We've got a little bit of an X pattern going on here with sandy loam toward the middle of the map. And then on the fringes to the northwest, the southwest, and kind of right to the east, we do have a bit of loamy sand. Now we have 2 main sell points available to us on this map for our grain crops. We have no place to sell our oats. Just fine. If you're going to be growing your oats, then you're going to be using them for your horses, because there's no places to sell your oats within the map itself. We also have a sell point for eggs and dairy, which is good to see. We do have a spinnery, so we do have a way of selling our cotton and wool. We do have a sawmill for our wood chips. And even though we do not have a biogas plant on the map, the barn sell point will accept our silage hay, straw, and grass. If you do happen to have the straw harvest add-on enabled, you will also be able to use that down here at the barn. If we take a look at our vehicle overview, you're going to see we start out with a decent amount of starting equipment given the size of these fields. All of it is new, none of it is leased, which is good to see. We do not have any horses at the start, and we do have contracts available to us. Let's go ahead and take a look at that starting fleet. We start out with the Massey Ferguson 5610 and the John Deere 6135M. So our tractors range in horsepower from 105 to 142. We have the Bison Super Z056 harvester that is paired with the Z056 grain header. We have the FarmTech TDK 1600 trailer, 1978 pickup truck. We have the POH 5 plow and the Coolmer L300 cultivator. We have the Qualidisc Farmer 3000 cultivator with the Spirit R300S seeder, the Kuhn Axis Fertilize spreader. We have front loader arms, pallet fork, and then our small horse stable, average garage for machines, machine shelter, and our red farmhouse. Let's move on into the placeables, and you will see that we can, as you've seen, sell the horse stable. We can buy it back, should we so do that. There are no silos pre-placed on the map as far as your grain storage goes. We do have the ability to put down these custom sheds. And we do have our custom farmhouse. Speaking of a farmhouse, our sleep trigger is going to be located right here at the back door. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of a tour around the farm here. We've got our horse paddock right here. We do use the animal pen extension mod, and that is what puts these blue pipes here. We use that mod, one, to see if the map has custom support for animal pen extension, and two, to see if, or to help us basically see where the water trough is. This is where the water trough is. Now, our food trough is actually inside the barn here. And this is also where the straw trigger will be. So our straw trigger is there, food trough is there, and our animal delivery point is, well, right here as well. We can have 5 horses in this particular pen. Now, something to note is we have a trigger marker over here, but the only thing over here is a trigger for the gate. So I'm not really sure why we have a trigger marker over here. It's not indicating anything functionally for the horses other than the fact that this gate does indeed allow us to open it and close it. Let's go ahead and take a look at our animal needs. Oats, hay, and pellets. Pretty straightforward, just like base game. Water and straw. Nothing too terrible complex going on there. We do start with a seed pallet and fertilizer pallet. That's nice to see. Get you going pretty quick. And the rest of our equipment is going to be in this shed right here. So let's go ahead and get set up for that fly around. We'll take a look around the map. We'll settle back down at the shop, and then we'll do a little bit of drive. Get a little bit of altitude here, and given the fact that this is such a small map, we can very easily see from edge to edge. Now, one thing I do like about how the map author has done the edge here is we've got some, albeit low-res textures there at the edge, but we do have trees and little patches of trees kind of continuing on well beyond the map. The same with the high voltage power lines. They are continuing off beyond the horizon, which is good to see. Really does help sell the idea that this map is continuing far beyond the playable border. Now, there are areas on this map where we do have power lines crossing the fields. Those do indeed have collisions, so that is important to know with respect to your own gameplay or using hired helpers. Now, this is a really, really small map. This map isn't like the Italia Light map, where the map author used a 4X map to build his map, and therefore it's a little bit deceiving. This is a real small map. We can tell how small it is by basically how fast we can move around. A lot of our sell points are going to be down here in this cluster. And speaking of that, this map has really 3 main clusters of sell points or play triggers outside the main farm. Just coming down here to altitude to show you that we are indeed running into these poles. So hired help will basically want to avoid those poles. If you're playing with course play or anything, you're going to need to be aware of those poles also. I believe this must be the large forest the map author spoke of, although it does appear to consist of a mixture of cuttable trees and, well, these interesting kind of 2D-ish trees. I really wish the map author would have put in more normal trees. I mean, this map is not a map that is really constraining or pulling down on the system. You see, if I unlock the frame rates, I mean, we're pumping 140 frames out here. This map is not going to be rough to run. So, really don't think they needed to save on resources by slapping in those 2D type trees. Something else that I wish the map author maybe would consider for an update would be to add additional sheds and additional player areas that the player can make use of. Right now we have the main farm, of course. There's a couple farm possibilities kind of to the right across the street and down the street from the starting farm. And it'll be really nice to be able to see a player be able to use those, given the fact that a player could pretty reasonably own the entire map over a fairly short time period. And to that extent, they're going to want probably more equipment than what the base farm is going to support. So we got a nice train siding coming through here. This obviously must be the forest that was talked about in the description. We've got a nice little train siding cutting through this forest. Give it a nice little bit of decorative element. So directly in front, kind of in the middle of the screen, we do have the main starting farm. Another cluster of sell points is directly below here. The map has some nice rolling terrain on the fields. Nothing real super steep, but the fields and the maps are definitely not flat. Now over here we have our animal dealer, and this is where we're going to end our fly around, because this is also where the shop is located. So we have our animal dealer trigger right here at these static cows. Of course, the only animal area that we own are the horses, so that's why that is only coming up there. We have our shop trigger. And then we have our customize, trade, repair, and sell icon right here. And the trigger to do that is located right below. Interesting road texture there. It's a little bit of a low-res road texture. It does look okay. here we are kind of at the map boundary. Let's cut back. A little bit of a floating road here. It's going to make it hard to get back up on the road. But here we can kind of get a feel for the subtle rolling nature of the ground. And here we have our first cluster of cell points. And in here we have our log trigger. So our sawmill trigger is right here. And, oh, look at that. Nice little detail. We've got a little fire going on. I don't know how safe that is. I mean, we got some wood scrap right next to that. And then, oh my gosh, we've got this massive pile of logs. Who put that fire there? That is very dangerous. Continue on around. At least the wood chip pile is somewhat removed from the fire. We have our spinnery for our cotton and wool. And then we have a grain dump station for one of our two main grain sell points. Just want to see, is the road grounded over here? Yes, it is. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like these little Polish maps. I think they fit perfect for the casual player. Someone who wants to jump in, spend an hour or two, and actually feel like they got something accomplished. You know, the player that doesn't necessarily have a long time to commit. But after 3 or 4 weeks of gameplay, they don't want to still be in early spring trying to get a field or two ready to go. Just checking out these sunflower textures. Of course, sunflowers like to lean toward the sun. Now, I have to say, I am trying a little different recording setup today. I will be very curious to know everyone's thoughts that has made it this far into the video. Does this video's recording look any different, good or bad, compared to other map tour videos that we have done in the recent past? Since we have been labeling them as 4K videos. I'll append that to the disclaimer here. So we're just going to cut across the eastern edge of the map here to get to the other large cluster of cell points. And then I want to double back, get back to the farm, and I do want to try to paint some various ground textures. So we've got a nice little scale coming into here. We have a bulk lime 5 point right here. Our dairy sell point is right here for our eggs and milk. We have a fuel trigger right here. Our barn sell point is located right here. And our grain dump station is right here. So yeah, I just want to drive and kind of take in the scenery, take in the decorations. Overall, I think this map is really, really attractive. I like the feel of it. I like the layout of it. You know, if you're looking for a small map for smallish equipment, this could be the perfect map for you. Maybe you've got a lower end system and some of those other bigger maps just don't play well on your system. Again, this might be the perfect system for you. But here we are coming up to the player farm, which is right down the street there. You can kind of see our brick house, right? We have a couple of these NPC areas that it would be nice in a update if maybe these included some barns, some sheds that we could buy and make use of. Right now, these are just static buildings, but it would be nice to maybe be able to buy this and use it for additional equipment storage. The same with this little yard across here. Maybe we could have some of these set up with other animals, maybe a small pig facility, maybe a little sheep farm, maybe a small dairy farm along this strip. But yeah, some of these little areas here could be used by the player. I think that would really look cool. Nice bridge here. I like the rundown boat. Busted up boat. Oh my, how are you? Holy freak me out, dude. Holy crap, I thought that was a snake. Oh, holy cow. I might need to change my pants after that. Look at that thing down there. Oh my gosh. Holy freak. And we're back to our main farm. So let's go back here to our one field that is directly attached to the farm. Here it is. Okay. And let's try out these textures. Oh, there's the road. Okay. So that's how we're supposed to get back here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, we're back to the start. So we've got kind of our mud texture. Concrete, worn concrete, some white concrete, just general dirt. We've got grass. We've got shrubbery, the Knights of Ni, and there's shrubbery. We've got gravel. Got a nice pavers here. Some other dirt going on. We have rock, sand, and then back to our dirt and gravel, our concrete. So guys, that is Wośnice. And I know I have completely butchered that name. I am just not used to these European names. But at any rate, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this nice, I think it's nice, this nice little Polish map. And until next time, happy farming.